So on Monday, we spoke about the red flags when it comes to real estate investment. Now I'm going to tell you how to avoid scams, how to avoid being in situations that can get you scammed. When you're investing in real estate is more than just a transaction. It's not like when you're going to buy an iPhone or when you're going to buy groceries. Real estate has to do with capacity. The capacity to own, the capacity to sell, the capacity to transfer title and ownership. Now, that real estate company you want to buy from, do they have the capacity to sell that property? You that is buying that property, do you have the capacity to own that property? Do you have the capacity to sell that property? Do you have the capacity to transfer ownership and titles to anybody that wants to buy that property? Real estate is about capacity. Now, how do you know you have the capacity to sell, own, transfer title and ownership of a particular property? Before you're able to sell, own, transfer title and ownership to somebody else, or before you're able to sell a property, or before you're able to own a property, you need to have capacity and you need to have the resources that says, oh, you're the owner. All the documentation that property has needs to be in your name. You need to be the rightful owner of that property. That investment has to be legally binding for you to have the capacity to own, sell, transfer ownership and title of that property. Now, the real estate company that you're buying from, do you have the capacity to sell that property? Do you have the capacity to own it? Are they even the ones that are supposed to be selling and marketing that property? You have to do your due diligence. And how you can do this is asking the right question. When you find somebody that you want to buy a property from, you ask them for the documentation of that property. You ask them for the information of that property, and you can do a land search at the land registry of whichever state you're buying from. It doesn't matter if you're in Enugu, Abuja, Lagos, Asaba. You can do a land search for the property you're buying just to ascertain that, oh, these people are supposed to be selling and marketing this property. Another way to avoid real estate scams in Nigeria is that you have to understand the laws governing the Nigerian real estate industry. Now, let me give you a very quick scenario. In Nigeria, we have various jurisdiction of the real estate laws. Like the laws that apply in Abuja might not apply exactly the same way in Enugu. Let me give you an example. In Enugu, we give a documentation known as the Deed of Sublease. Now, this Deed of Sublease is like, if I buy a property, I have the Deed of Lease. The lease is for 99 years. The Deed of Lease is equivalent to the Deed of Assignment. I have the lease for a period of 99 years, yeah? Now, I want to sell this property, and I bought this property from 2020 and I want to sell it in 2025. That means that I have 99 years for this property, but I've been in ownership and possession of this property for 5 years. So I have 94 years left. So when I want to sell this property, the person I'm going to sell it to, I'm going to give the person the Deed of Sublease. Now, that Deed of Sublease is going to carry a period of 94 years because I've used that property for 5 years. And the number of years that the Deed of Lease states that I'm supposed to be the owner of that property is 99 years. But since I've been in possession and I've been the owner of the property for 5 years and I want to sell the property, I've automatically transferred the 94 years left to the person that wants to buy this property. That Deed of Sublease is documentation I'm going to give the person that wants to buy and I want to sell this property to. But the root title is the Deed of Lease. Now in Abuja, it might be a red flag to buy a property that has a Deed of Sublease because of the jurisdiction of the real estate laws in Abuja. If somebody buys a property from a family and the family has 99 years and they lease it to me or somebody else for 50 years and I sell that property that they leased to me for 50 years to somebody else, I'm going to give the person the Deed of Sublease. Now, can you see how this is a real estate scam? Because I was not even supposed to sell this property to this person. I'm not the owner of this property. I just have 50 years on this property. So that's why this is a scam, for me to sell a property that I'm not the original owner of somebody else. When I'm not the original owner of this, I just have 50 years lease on this property, then I went ahead and sold it. Now, when the 50 years come to an end, the remaining 44 years that is left on this property that I sold is going to automatically go back to the owners of this property because they leased it to me for 50 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's a red flag because now the person that I sold this property to does not have any property. So that's why Deed of Sublease can be a potential red flag in Abuja, but in Enugu it's a regular document. Do you now understand why it's important to understand the legal processes and the legal frameworks that govern the jurisdiction which you're buying from? Another thing is your due diligence. I feel like we don't talk about due diligence a lot because you think it's just, oh, just go and do it. Due diligence covers a lot of things. Your personal research on who you want to work with, the physical inspection, the kind of property you want to buy. When you are doing your due diligence, it's like a research. Like You're going to sit down, take your time and find out where you want to buy, what is going to cost you, who you're going to buy from, what documentations you need, who do you need to be involved in this real estate investment. It's also very important that you involve professionals, professional real estate lawyer. I think people don't really understand the use or the importance of real estate lawyer. They just want to pick any random lawyer. I'm telling you now, you need a real estate lawyer. Do well to get a real estate lawyer. Involve professionals every single step of the way. If you want to start building a house, involve a professional. If you want to just buy the land, you just want to buy the land and keep, involve a professional realtor, a credible real estate lawyer, a developer. Do well to always engage professionals. Doing your due diligence can reduce the risk of you being a victim of scam by 99.9%. And I know this video helped you. So do well to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any video that we put up. My name is Blessing Brown. This is Real Estate with Blessing. I'll see you on Monday.